Have you ever noticed that no matter how hard you work, you always end up back at the same financial level? You make more money, then something happens and it's gone. You get a raise, then unexpected expenses appear. You start saving, then you find reasons to spend it all. This isn't bad luck or coincidence. It's your subconscious mind keeping you exactly where it thinks you belong. Freud discovered that your relationship with money was programmed before you could even speak. Every comment your parents made about rich people, every argument about bills, every time they said, money doesn't grow on trees, it all got stored in your unconscious as absolute truth. Your adult brain might want wealth, but your child brain is terrified of it. Why? Because wealth means change, and change feels like death to your primitive mind. Right now, your financial thermostat is set to a specific number, and every time you exceed it, your subconscious hits the reset button. But here's what Freud taught us about breaking this cycle. Your money blocks aren't about money at all. They're about worthiness, safety, and identity. Tell me in the comments, what did your family teach you about money when you were growing up? I can see from your responses that most of you grew up with toxic money programming, and now you're living out those limiting beliefs as an adult. But here's where Freud's discovery gets really disturbing. Your mind doesn't just limit your income, it actually punishes you for trying to have more. This is what he called the guilt mechanism. Deep down, you believe that having money makes you greedy, selfish, or bad. You believe that if you have more, someone else has less. You believe that struggling with money makes you noble, spiritual, or humble. These aren't conscious thoughts. They're unconscious programs running 24/7 in the background of your mind. Every time you get close to real wealth, this guilt mechanism kicks in and creates self-sabotage. You make bad investments, overspend on things you don't need, or give money away to people who don't appreciate it. Your mind would rather keep you broke and good than rich and evil. This is why lottery winners often end up bankrupt. Their conscious mind got the money, but their unconscious mind rejected it. Freud realized that until you change your unconscious relationship with money, you'll keep creating the same financial reality over and over again. Comment below. Do you feel guilty when you have more money than others around you? The guilt responses in these comments prove that Freud was right about the psychological chains that keep people poor. But there's something even deeper going on. Your financial struggles aren't just about guilt, they're about identity. You've built your entire sense of self around being the person who struggles, who works hard for everything, who never has enough. Wealth threatens that identity, because if you become rich, who are you? Your ego has invested so much in the story of your financial limitations that success feels like losing yourself. This is why people say things like, "I'm just not good with money," or "I wasn't born rich." They're not describing reality, they're protecting their identity. Freud discovered that your ego will choose familiar suffering over unfamiliar joy every single time. Your current financial situation isn't happening to you. It's being created by you to maintain psychological consistency. Think about it. How many times have you had opportunities to make more money but found excuses not to pursue them? How many times have you spent money you needed to save? How many times have you undercharged for your work or accepted less than you deserved? These aren't accidents. They're your unconscious mind keeping you in alignment with your internal money story. What story are you telling yourself about why you can't have wealth? Your honest answers show me that you're starting to see how your own mind has been working against your financial success. But here's what Freud discovered about reprogramming these deep patterns. You can't just think your way out of them. Your money programming lives in your emotional brain, not your logical brain. This is why reading about wealth creation or repeating affirmations doesn't work. You're trying to change hardware with software. The secret is to understand that every financial decision you make is actually an emotional decision dressed up as a logical one. When you refuse to raise your prices, that's fear of rejection. When you overspend on things you don't need, that's trying to fill an emotional void. When you give money away to avoid feeling guilty, that's trying to manage other people's emotions. Your relationship with money is really your relationship with yourself. How much you think you deserve, how safe you feel in the world, how worthy you believe you are of good things. Freud taught us that to change your financial reality, you have to change your emotional reality first. You have to heal the part of you that believes struggle equals virtue, that believes wanting money makes you bad, that believes you don't deserve abundance. Are you ready to examine the emotional wounds that are keeping you financially stuck? I can see from your comments that many of you are recognizing these emotional patterns, but you're asking the key question: how do you actually reprogram years of conditioning? This is where Freud's method becomes revolutionary. He discovered that your unconscious mind learns through repetition and emotion, not logic and willpower. Every time you make a financial decision from fear, you strengthen the neural pathways of scarcity. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you reinforce the programming that keeps you small. But here's the breakthrough. Every time you make a different choice, you create a new pathway. The key is to start making financial decisions from your future self, not your current programming. Ask yourself, what would someone who deserves wealth do in this situation? How would someone with an abundant mindset handle this choice? Your unconscious mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. It just records the emotional patterns you repeat. So if you start acting like someone who deserves money, your unconscious will eventually accept that identity. But you have to be consistent, and you have to expect resistance. Your old programming will fight back with anxiety, doubt, and 1,000 reasons why this won't work for you. That's normal. That's just your ego trying to keep you safe in the familiar cage of limitation. What's one financial decision you could make today from abundance instead of fear? Your responses show me that you're understanding the concept, but Freud discovered something else that's crucial for lasting change. Your relationship with money is inseparable from your relationship with power. Money is just crystallized energy, and energy is power. If you're uncomfortable with having power over your own life, you'll unconsciously give away your money. If you believe that powerful people are bad, you'll sabotage your own financial growth. This goes back to childhood programming about authority figures. If your parents abused their power, you might unconsciously reject power in all its forms, including financial power. If you saw money corrupt people, you might believe that staying poor keeps you pure. But here's what Freud understood. Power isn't inherently good or evil. It's neutral. It amplifies who you already are. If you're a good person without money, you'll be a good person with money. The difference is, you'll have more resources to help others and more freedom to live your values. Your fear of money isn't really about money. It's about your fear of becoming someone you don't respect. But that's impossible. Money doesn't change your character, it reveals it. The question isn't whether you deserve wealth, it's whether you're ready to use wealth responsibly. And the fact that you're worried about using it well proves you're exactly the kind of person who should have it. How would having financial freedom allow you to contribute more to the world? The shift in these comments tells me you're starting to see money differently, but Freud warned about something that stops most people right here: the fear of outgrowing your current relationships. Your unconscious mind is terrified that if you become wealthy, you'll lose the people you love. You might outgrow friends who bond over financial struggles. You might make family members feel inadequate or resentful. Your success might highlight other people's limitations, and relationships might change or end. This fear is so strong that most people choose poverty over loneliness. They'd rather struggle with people than succeed alone. But here's what Freud discovered. People who truly love you want you to succeed, and people who don't want you to succeed don't truly love you. Your real friends will celebrate your growth. Your real family will be proud of your success. And anyone who tries to keep you small to make themselves feel better was never really supporting you anyway. Yes, some relationships might change as you grow, but you'll also attract new relationships with people who operate at your new level. You'll connect with others who are committed to growth, who celebrate success, who inspire you to become even better. The choice isn't between money and love, it's between authentic relationships and codependent ones. Which relationships in your life would genuinely celebrate your financial success, and which ones would try to sabotage it? I can see from your honest responses that you're recognizing the people in your life who support your growth versus those who keep you small. This awareness is crucial because Freud discovered that your social environment either reinforces your money blocks or helps you break free from them. But here's where most people get stuck. They wait for permission from others to succeed. They wait for their family to understand, for their friends to approve, for their partner to encourage them. But that permission will never come from people who are threatened by your growth. You have to give yourself permission to want more, to deserve more, to become more. This doesn't mean you become arrogant or forget where you came from. It means you stop apologizing for your ambition and stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. Your success doesn't take anything away from anyone else. In fact, it gives them permission to succeed too. When you break the cycle of financial limitation, you become proof that it's possible. You become a model for what's achievable. You show others that they don't have to accept struggle as their permanent reality. Freud taught us that psychological healing is contagious. When you heal your relationship with money, you heal it for your children, your family, your community. Your wealth becomes a gift to everyone around you because it shows them what's possible. Are you ready to stop waiting for permission and start giving yourself what you deserve? As we reach the final part of this journey, I want you to understand something powerful that Freud discovered. Your financial future isn't determined by your past, your education, your background, or your current circumstances. It's determined by your willingness to change your unconscious programming and act from a new identity. Every day, you have hundreds of micro-choices that either move you toward wealth or away from it. The coffee you buy, the price you charge, the opportunities you pursue, the risks you take. These small decisions compound over time to create your financial reality. Your current bank account is just a reflection of your past programming, but your future bank account will reflect the new choices you start making today. The secret isn't to completely overhaul your life overnight. It's to start making different choices from a different identity. Start asking, what would a wealthy person do in this situation? How would someone who deserves abundance handle this choice? Your unconscious mind will gradually accept this new identity as you consistently act from it. Remember, you don't become wealthy and then start thinking like a wealthy person. You start thinking like a wealthy person and then become wealthy. The transformation happens from the inside out, not the outside in. Freud gave us the roadmap to reprogram our unconscious mind. The question now is, will you use it? Your wealthy future self is waiting for you to make the choice. What will you decide?